Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Kalaboukis, and once again we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on the Apple Podcast. I'd greatly appreciate it. It would be awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the past. Now, I was watching a really interesting video the other day from, I think she was a physicist. And she posed the question, does the past exist? Does the past actually exist? Is the past an actual place? And in watching this video, immediately reminded me of Stephen King's Langoliers. So I don't know if you've read Langoliers, but I've seen the movie. It was a TV movie. And it was about a plane that kind of gets, so it phased a little bit out of time. And then they land in this airport, and the airport's completely empty. And they don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden these creatures come out and they start chewing up reality. They chew up the sky, they chew up the ground, they chew up everything. And they eventually take off, and then something happens and they fly back through some rift and they come back into space and they're fine. But it made me think about the past and what happens to the past. I mean, is there such a thing as the past? Does the past continue to exist, or does it just disappear? And if you think about it, the only thing we know about the past is the artifacts of the past and the memories of the past. So things we've seen, things we see around us right now. So for example, I had this coffee mug. I bought this coffee mug years ago, and I still have this coffee mug. So sometime in the past, I bought this mug, and now I still have it. So something must have happened in the past, right? Because I didn't just wake up this morning and suddenly the mug was there. I remember the mug being there. I saw the mug being there. I remember being gifted the mug. So there must have been a past. But where is it now? Where is the past at this very moment? Was it chewed up by the Langoliers? This is why you always see things like, when anybody talks about investment advice, they say, past performance does not necessarily guarantee future returns. Why is that? Well, because what happened in the past is completely different from what's going to happen in the future, right? I mean, we all know this, but we still, for some reason, think that there's some kind of pattern to things happening, right? I mean, if we knew that there was a pattern to things happening, then we'd be able to figure out what the lottery tickets are going to be next, right? We'd be able to figure out stocks. We'd be able to figure out what to invest in. We'd be able to figure out all sorts of things. We'd be able to stem inflation off before it even started happening. But we don't, right? Because anything can happen. See, personally, I think what's happened to us is that we have been lulled into a sense of security based on memories and artifacts from this past that has occurred all around us, right? We have seen the past. We can read about the past. We have artifacts from the past. So to us, the past exists as a thing. But the reality is that once the present becomes the past literally no longer exists. It's our memories and our artifacts and everything around us that is making us maintain the past as the present. Why is this important? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we have this feeling or this sense that we cannot change, right? We're the same person that we were yesterday. When I woke up this morning, I was the same person I was yesterday, and tomorrow morning when I wake up, I will be the same person as I am today. But that's not necessarily true. The reason that's not true is because if you think about it, we could wake up tomorrow morning and have a completely different view on life. We could decide to think about life in a completely different way, but we don't. There's lots of reasons why we don't, right? We like the consistency. Human beings hate change. We fear change. Most people fear change. A few people don't fear change, but a lot of people fear change. So when we wake up tomorrow morning, we're more likely to act like we did today because we're afraid of doing something different. Secondly, if you suddenly woke up tomorrow and decided to be a different person, even though you could, you probably won't, because everybody around you will be like, what the hell happened to you, Chris? Yesterday you were like this and today you're like that. You're like a different person. Yes, I am a different person. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that the past, the future, the present, these are all different realities. The past and the present and the future aren't necessarily interlinked. They're interlinked by our brains. We think that these things have to be similar, but they don't. We make a lot of assumptions that these things are similar, but they aren't. We think that there's consistency in the world, but there isn't, because we see patterns. We're pattern visualizers. We see these patterns in the world and we think, aha, something's going on there. I should be able to predict what's going to happen next based on what just happened. But let me simplify it for you. You're sitting at a roulette table, and this happened to me once. I was sitting at a roulette table, and this was a while back because it was a $2 roulette table, and somebody came in and dropped $500 on red. So we had red, black, and a single 00 green. Spun. Ball landed on black. He lost $500. The croupier pulled the $500 off the table. Smack! He put another $500 on red. Croupier spins. Black again. Put another $500 on red. Black again. Put another $500 on red. Black again. He had just spent $2,000 betting that red was going to come up. Some of the other ones of us around the table said, hey, maybe we should start betting on black because this guy's betting on red. He stepped away from the table for a second to get more money. He got another $5,000. And he started putting $500 down on red every single time. Long story short, he lost all of it. He lost $7,000 in the span of what, 10, 15 minutes? Because it kept coming up red. I mean, black. It kept coming up black, but he voted red. So almost any normal person would say, oh my God, it's got to come up red at some point. It has to come up. In fact, there's more of a chance it'll come up red because it hasn't come up red at all. All this time we've been betting and it hasn't come up red at all. What do you think the chances that it's going to come up red in the next spin? Because it hasn't come up red, or it has come up black all this time. It's come up black all this time, but this guy continuously bets on red, 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 red. Do you think there's a better chance that it will come up on red? No. It's the exact same chance. Every time that wheel is spun, the exact same chance that the exact same color will come up again and again and again. It's a 50% chance, thereabouts, except if you factor out the 00. And that's where the fallacy lies. That's where our fallacy lies. That's where our brains, our pattern capturing brains, look at this pattern and go, red's got to come up sometime. It's got to come up sometime. So I'm going to bet on red because it's going to come up sometime. And yes, it will come up sometime. But I could spin that 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times, 1,000,000 times, and red may never come up because it's the same chance. And that's what I'm trying to say about life. That's what I'm trying to say about business. That's what I'm trying to say about work. That's what I'm trying to say about the future. The future can be anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be connected to the past. It doesn't have to be connected to the past. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.